So Justin, we're doing another bass, but this time we're building a bass from Temu, which is kind of insane. Now, if you're a returning viewer, you've probably seen me do a video using products from this company before, but unlike my other videos using Temu products, today's video is a little bit different. I saw that on the Temu website, they had like this body and they had all these different items or whatever. It looked like you could build one. And so like I built a guitar or a bass or whatever, and I was like, why don't we try that? Yeah. And Justin's response was,
there's no way.
So this is gonna be a really fun one today. I'm actually really nervous, and I think Justin's probably even more nervous than I am.
Yes.
And so,
we have one day.
Oh, and we're gonna try to do this in one day. I don't know what I'm thinking with this. So, all right, we got one day.
Yes.
What do we need to do?
Okay, first things first, this is the body. We didn't know if this would be an actual piece of wood, but it is of some sort. It's very rough. It should be okay. It's pretty rough around the edges. So we don't know if the neck is going to fit. This doesn't look right to me, but we'll find out. We literally have not tested that yet. So we're gonna sand the body, and we're gonna see if a bass neck fits. Okay, that's one thing we could not get from Temu.
We tried to get everything.
We've got strap buttons, we've got the bridge, we've got tuners, all this stuff, but we cannot find a bass neck.
Not a single one.
So
we found guitar necks.
Yes, guitar necks, but not bass necks.
They have something against bass players for some reason.
So don't we all? So we had to order a whole bass, a whole cheap bass from Temu, just to use the neck from it. But it didn't get in time. So we're gonna use another cheap bass
that we think will potentially work with it.
After we sand it, check to see if a bass neck even remotely fits for a PE bass type thing. We gotta do some measurements to find out where the bridge needs to go. Normally I already have all this done in for the CNC, all done in the computer program, but this is more old school, so we'll have to measure this once we get a neck on that fits. We'll need to measure that so we'll know exactly where the bridge needs to go. We're also wanting to put in another pickup, so that'll be challenging. This whole build will be challenging. Then we have to cut out a pickguard. So we have that material over there, go over that. There's no way. And then we pray that it all works. And after that, then we'll go to the other shop and do all the tedious stuff. So we'll work on frets, we'll put some kind of finish on this thing, and then start putting the pieces together. So
all in one day.
All in one day.
In one day. Let's stop talking about it, let's do it.
Let's get to work.
If any of you are interested in any of the products we use in today's video, all of them will be linked in the description below. And in case you don't know, all Temu users will get a $100 coupon bundle when you search this code on the Temu app or if you visit the link in the description. Also, new Temu app users can use this code or click the link in my description to get 30% off and exclusive deals. I've never built a guitar from scratch before, so I had no clue what all goes into it. But Justin, on the other hand, has done this a ton of times and had never finished building a guitar in one day, ever. We did not know what we were getting into.
I don't know what kind of wood this is. It seems it's very light. It does not cut very well. Like, I don't know if you can see that from where they cut it, but it just chips out really bad. It needs to be sanded. They really rough sanded it. And it's a pretty soft wood, so I'm not gonna go all the way to 80 like we used to do. That's very coarse. I'm gonna start at like 150, 180, up to 220, and just try to get it right there since we have one day. So this wood is extremely soft, and this sander is very aggressive. So I'm gonna use it, do all the edges with a less aggressive sander because this is very straight, right? So when you go in a round corner like this, it'll almost straighten the corner, which is not what you want. You want it to be round. This is a foamy pad. So when you go around it, it will contour with the circle, and it's not near as aggressive. This is the cheapest wood I think I've ever messed with. Like, you barely touch it. This sander is not aggressive in the least, and you barely touch it, and it's just eating away. Most of the time you have a hardwood, or at least a semi-hardwood for guitar building. This might just be a full-blown softwood. I don't know. So I hope it even holds the screws that we want it to hold, but we'll see. Okay, now we have it sanded up to 220. Let's see if one of these necks will even remotely fit this thing.
Now, the only piece of the build that we couldn't find on Temu to save our lives was a bass neck. So we had to improvise a little bit and decided to try and fit a bass neck from off of an old and cheap bass that I had in my closet.
So
let's just see if it
we've
fits
got
first.
The glary bass, which is a really, really cheap $100 bass that I've used. If you watch my checked bag video, I used this in a gig bag and checked it at the desk. And this is the first bass we've ever done a reno on. Haven't been able to use it that often, so we're gonna possibly use this one too. So hopefully one of these will work.
Well, that's on there.
I don't know if I've ever seen a bass do this. Oh,
okay. Let us pray. Lord. So, it's not the best fit in the world, but you can see over here, see how there's kind of a gap right there? Because it's a little, this hole is just a little too big. It could probably work. We could probably shim that with something. So there's, I mean, there's that. We can try one of the others if you want.
So we decided to go with the glary bass neck because it was the closest to the size neck the body was built for.
So what we're trying to do, this does not line up. I've already tested it. This hole does not match the hole here. I'm trying to mark where the holes need to be. I'm a little nervous it's going to be too close to the other holes. I want to see. See, it's just slightly.
Oh my word!
Where it needs to be.
So are we gonna have to fill the holes?
I think what I would rather do is widen these holes. These holes don't hold anything. So these are already ready for screws, right? And there's certain places. These don't hold anything. The only thing that holds pressure here is the back plate. So if I widen these holes, we should be able to move the screw around to wherever these holes are and just match these up.
Update.
Okay, I've got to put this on and we're gonna see if we can make some of it work.
Tracy wants to see. Hey Tracy. She just wants to see what's going on with the build. So, it came together.
We've got it bolted together. It's at least bolted and it would make some kind of sound, I think. As long as this body doesn't just snap in half. When you
How does the neck dive on it?
Oh, it's gonna be terrible, for sure. I mean, so,
we'll have to find a solution for that.
Now this is where Justin started to get a little bit stressed. We were getting ready to put this on a CNC machine to cut out the cavities in the base for the pickups and the pickguard. But why this is so stressful is that he's having to do all the measurements by hand. Most times you would use some type of CAD schematics or diagram that someone spent time and got exactly right so you can just input it into the CNC machine. But we didn't have the luxury of that when we were trying to get this done in a day.
So guys, I'm not gonna lie. I think I may have hit Justin's limit when it comes to just like trying to figure out things.
yeah. I normally do all of this measuring in the computer program, then put it on the CNC, and it all comes up perfect. This is more old school. We're having to measure out everything perfectly. I'm just not used to it. I'm used to technology. Because obviously this is like way too big for these pickups.
Yeah, I'm guessing that has to be pretty exact then.
Yeah. The problem is I just don't know where to put the hole on that pickguard.
Justin, you stressed?
100%. I don't know if we're gonna get done with this. I don't know if we're gonna get out of this shop today.
Oh no.
Now this was one of the most crucial parts of this build because we didn't get enough material to make any mistakes. We only had enough to make one base. We didn't have any safety or anything like that. And so if we made a mistake during this printing process, this build was pretty much over. So we got through cutting the pickguard, now we have to cut through the body. Now I can't lie to you, during this process, we were for sure thinking we were gonna finish this build. At this point, we had been at the wood shop for already nearly 5 hours, and we only had 4 hours left before we had to finish the rest of the base. The last thing we needed to do before moving to the next shop was to make sure all the components fit in the pickguard and the body of the base. Man, the more I think about this, I can't believe we even tried this in a day.
All right, so we just got it cut, and does it fit?
Yeah, it all fits. We've got all the holes lined up. I'll drill those at the other shop. All that works. The pickups work. So we're pretty much ready to go to this other shop, and I'll sand all this off once we get there, as far as the marks. But
marks and stuff.
Yeah.
Now, what do we have left? We have just the electronics, the setup,
yeah.
Drilling all the holes in the inside, right?
Yeah, we'll have to drill some holes here, drill a hole here for the bridge, for the ground.
All right,
so
let's pack it up.
So when we got to the next shop, we pretty much didn't have any time to chat about all the things we were doing. We just had to rush to get this base done. The first thing we needed to do was drill all the screw holes in the base so we could attach the pickguard, bridge, and electronics to the base. The next thing we needed to do was drill a hole for the ground wire on the inside of the body. But because we were in a rush, this happened.
Gotcha. So I've got to drill into this cavity from here. So you got to be at a pretty steep angle or you'll go through the bottom of the guitar. Hold on. Well, we'll glue it. I was afraid of that. I was afraid of that.
Oh no.
Now, if we weren't rushing the process, we probably would have been a lot more careful when drilling. But hey, it adds character to the design, right?
So let me know if you see it over there.
Yep, I see it. I see it. I see it. I see it.
Well, I wish I would have done that the first time.
Second time's a charm. Oh, see it. See it. See it. See it. That one's good on the first try. Just had to mess up one time.
Yeah.
This is the thing. Is it Justin? I'm rushing Justin through this process. Justin would have this thing spick and span and perfect.
I feel like
it wasn't for me.
Every instrument we've done together has been in a hurry.
Literally.
So the reason we were in such a rush today wasn't because we had planned for this video to be rushed and all done in one day, but was because we accidentally had a schedule conflict due to a double booking on Justin's schedule. And so he had to leave to go out of town by 5 p.m. today, which it was already 3 p.m. So the next part of this process is coloring the base because we don't want it to look just like a natural piece of wood. And we also don't have enough time to paint it or let the paint cure or anything like that. We had to get this done today. So Justin had this idea I have never heard of before.
So I was talking to Justin about like, what should we do to color this or paint this or, you know, treat it. And Justin had this pretty crazy idea I've never heard of.
We're gonna burn it. I feel like the quickest way to get color on there, since we only have a day, if you were gonna paint it or stain it or whatever, those have to cure. We ain't got time for that. We need it to be black or something right now. So we're gonna burn it.
Hopefully this place doesn't catch on fire. Oh shoot. Gosh dang, sorry. Kids, don't try this at home.
No, don't do it. But it is pretty cool though.
Now at this point, I made myself useful and decided to remove all the old tuners so we can start adding the new tuners to the headstock. Then when we were placing on the new tuners, we ran into another issue.
Ooh, is it too big? The hole too big?
Yeah. I think I'm almost certain, yeah. Well, these tuners are just completely different than the previous one. So as you can see, these are completely different hole points. All we can do is try this, and if it doesn't work, we'll have to revert and go back to these. Okay. Just all we have.
So we had to mix the new and old tuners from the glary bass and the new ones that we got on Temu, which were gold. So it was almost like a gold and silver two-tone look. We didn't know how the two-tone look would look with the, bolts and everything from Temu because we had the gold and silver, but we didn't have time to think about it. We just had to get this thing done. So we kept going, and then I realized we actually never talked about what we do with the neck. So yeah, we just decided to burn it too. After we finished that, we cleaned off the body of the bass of the soot, and then we oiled it, and we also finished cleaning off the neck as well. Then we started adding the electronics to the pickguard and started to notice, we don't know if this gold will actually match this pickguard.
The gold probably is gonna clash more than the yellow is just not.
On the picture, it looked a little bit more gold.
Yeah.
Now during this time, I got a really important phone call that I had to take, and Justin finished putting all the electronics in the bass. So as soon as I finished that phone call, I came back and we had to go back to the wood shop to cut off a little piece of the pickguard before we can put the bass completely together. Then once we did that, we were able to attach the neck to the body of the bass and call it quits. Now at this point, it was exactly 5 p.m. and Justin had to go. So he left me to finish up adding the strings, setting up the bass, and to check if it even made sound. Which at this point, we were so tired that I completely forgot to record myself doing the setup. So after I did the setup, Justin's dad was kind enough to let me test it on his Mark bass amp. I feel like it's actually backwards. So the bass made sound. Oh my God. Honestly, if the bass wouldn't have made sound, I probably would have cried. Now I'm gonna bring the bass back here to the studio and test out all the audio sound of it and how it looks. So here's the finished product. So now the cost of everything we bought on Temu totaled out to be this amount, which I know it probably isn't a lot of money, and you're probably like, man, how could you build that for that? But this is the reason why people go to Temu so often, because they just have really, really discounted items. All right, now for this audio test, we're gonna do it all the knobs full volume, both pickups and full tone, and then we're gonna do a finger style and slap style. Now after that, we're gonna do neck pickup only in full tone and then bridge pickup only in full tone. And then we're also gonna test that the tone knob works as well. give a huge thanks to Justin for spending the time on this, and also a huge thanks to Justin's dad for helping me out at the end. If you guys are interested, definitely go check out Justin's channel, Neo Guitar Concepts, where he does builds and reviews on guitars and a whole lot of other things. So if you guys are interested in any of the products I got from Temu or any of the things that we use in this video, feel free to check out the links in my description below. And if you haven't already, go ahead and drop a comment of what you think about this bass build. Don't forget to like and subscribe below if you enjoyed this video, and also support by going to my website, travisdykesmusic.com. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time.